Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Call of the Wild. I want to thank everybody for coming out to the stream. Well, actually, we had two streams yesterday. One kind of early in the morning and one really late at night. So thank you guys for coming out to both those streams. And today, actually, the number one question I've been getting asked lately is, can you use the 10 gauge? So today, we're going to be using the 10 gauge. But first, it just so happens that I found a pretty nice fallow buck out here at about 220, and we have the M1 on us, so I think we're going to use that. In fact, he's sitting right out there at about 230 yards away, right behind that tree. Now, I'm getting like three different ranges. So first we got, what was that, 240, and then we got 160, and then we got 250. So I'm thinking that tree is maybe 160, and he's about 240. Yeah, about like 240, I would say. So if we use the M1, we should be good, not 80. We better zero back in for at least 160. But we should be good. Right about there. Yeah, that was pretty good. And it actually looks like we have yet another fallow out here at about 180. I do believe that might be a small one. We might hold off, but that's an absolute giant fallow. I'm wondering if that actually might be the one that knocked us off the ATV that one time. I'm really wondering. I mean, it's kind of the same circumstance, right? We're going out to hunt some geese with a 10 gauge, and we run into this guy. Look how far away he is, and he just looks like an absolute beast out there. The thing looks like a moose. I mean, here we have this guy, which should make a decent sized gold. That's a really decent fallow, which is why we ended up taking the shot on him first. That's going to be a gold, and that was a 221 yard double lung heart shot with the M1. Man, I can't tell you how many times I've made a heart shot with this M1. It is so accurate, especially at long distances as well. But I believe that's a big 3 and kind of like a small 4 rack. So the one that we see now is definitely either a big 4 or a small 5 rack on that huge fallow buck. But that one scored 174, okay? Our biggest one that we have so far scores 199. Which is the one that I thought knocked us off the ATV. Now this one has an estimate of 212. That thing looks like a moose out there. With the M1, we could go for this shot. Oh my god, that's a giant. He is quartering at us, so I think we'll wait a little bit longer. Okay, so I think I'm pretty comfortable with this angle right here. If we go over any more, we're going to be behind that tree. And the wind's already blowing directly at him. So he's 230 out right now. Definitely not going to be using that thing. But we have the M1. Reserved in for 160. Let's let him step forward a little bit more. Oh, that should have been right on the money. He's down. That might be the biggest fallow I've ever seen. I mean, since the Truax came out, I think my biggest fallow was maybe like a 890s or something like that. I never broke 900s. But if this thing is going to break 210, he's going to be an absolute monster. And we got a roe deer buck. I don't think we can use the M1 on him, but you never know. Maybe we can. We'll find out in a second, I guess. Really not too worried about him though. I guess that's the best we have to really work with. So yeah, we'll just go with that for now and let's pick him up. He's gonna score 232. Oh my god, that's a giant. That is definitely by far my biggest fallow I've ever gotten. He needs to score 250 to be diamond. So I would say with a rack like that, that's got to be a small 5 or a giant 4 rack right there. But that is definitely my biggest fallow. We must hit the shoulder blade. I was going for the heart and just miss. So if we wouldn't have nicked that shoulder blade, it probably would have been lung and heart, which is why I was a little bit curious to why he did take off. But he still smoked 230 yards, and that is a massive fallow buck, our biggest one to date. So let's get him mounted. And wow. I mean, I can promise you, I really planned on doing a goose hunt. All I wanted to do is get that first good follow, because he was right there and we had the M1. And then we come around the next corner and we actually found what I believe is the same fallow that knocked us off the ATV about 4 days ago. And if you haven't seen that, I'll run it right now. Left if you need to, or right if you need to. Hey, we kicked up, oh my god! Holy crap! Holy! Did you see the size of that thing? Jeez! I think that might have been potentially a diamond. Oh my god, that was a giant. I mean, definitely a big 4, but potentially that could have been... That could have easily been a 5. But yeah, during that video, a lot of you guys were saying in the comments that the fallow that knocked us off the ATV was not the same one that we found during the hunt. I hunted so hard to try and find him, and for some reason, I just couldn't figure out where he went. I don't know, every single time I saw one, it was like, oh, that's a big one, but it wasn't like, that's a giant, like this one. When I saw this thing, it was like, that's a giant, and I just knew that this is the same feeling I had when we were on the ATV and we got knocked off. So I think we finally found the right buck, guys. That's pretty incredible, and I can't wait to put this sucker in the trophy lodge. What a monster. 232 score. So like I was saying before, I'm pretty sure you cannot use the M1 on the Mosin, or you cannot use the M1 on the roe deer. The M1 on the Mosin, that'd be kind of interesting to see that happen. But anyways, I don't think it would have been a monster roe, probably like a small to medium gold if anything. 63 pounds, so silver 76. Would have been a gold, but far from a diamond. It looks like we cannot use the M1 on the roe deer, which I already knew. But either way, I still want to show you a little bit of the 10 gauge and show you what it's capable of doing, because I've never used it yet. Let's zero back in for 27 here. We have a nice flock of geese coming in. In fact, they actually came in way too soon. I never even got a chance to get in our blind, so we're kind of just laying here prone right now. Thought I heard another flock coming in, but we're just going to wait prone, and once they get close, we're going to pop up and just see what this 10 gauge is all about. It kind of works out good though, because we have a decoy right in front of us here, so we have a little bit of cover. But yeah, let's see what happens. I'm hoping that they shift a little bit more because they're a little ways out. Oh, they spooked. Got one hit. Another one hit. Another one hit. Man, they're kind of far. Okay, so it looks like we get 3 shots. Man, it's kind of hard to see the sight. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard to see the sight because the sight, well, the whole barrel of the shotgun covers up the bird. Man, I don't know who designed that, but that is a major concern to me. Because here's the thing, like shotguns in real life, they have a rib that sticks out maybe ½ an inch. At least most bird shotguns do. They don't have like a kind of like inverted sight where it's basically right where the rib should be. It sticks up about ½ an inch, right? Maybe like 1/4 of an inch. If they could really raise that up, you know, put a rib on there about 1/4 of an inch, it would be perfect. Then we could see. But look, it covers up the whole animal. But either way, the 10 gauge did take down a couple of geese. I mean, we went 3 for 3, you know, but I kind of just had to go instinct on it because I couldn't see the sight. I could hardly see the sight. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that's pretty sweet though. It looks like it did awesome. 70 yards out, and that goose was just toast. So that's one. But then again, none of them like crumbled. You know, they all kind of soared a little ways. Okay, so I see another goose here. I'm 90% sure we got at least 3 of them. Well, let's grab this one. 83 yards out, and it looks like that should have been toast as well. I mean, if you ask me, that should have been a headshot. Head, neck, and wing. Which, that's not bad, 80 yards out with a 10 gauge. Well, I looked around for a little while to find the other goose, which I'm like 98% sure we got 3 geese out of this guy. At least we hit 3 of them. But I can't find the other one. But anyways, in conclusion, I think that's going to wrap up this hunt. Now, my first impression on this 10 gauge, It has a lot of power. I mean, we took down the geese at 80 yards and 70 yards, no problem at all. They didn't go too far, but at the same time, they didn't exactly drop. But the sight on this thing, I don't like it at all. It is way too difficult to be able to swing on some, you know, ducks or geese or any kind of waterfowl, migratory birds. If you're going left or right on them, the barrel, or whatever you want to call it, yeah, I guess it's like the barrel, the outside of the barrel, covers up the whole bird. Maybe for turkey it might be alright, but for ducks and geese, I don't know. I don't really like it that much at all. But anyways, we did get a giant fallow, so let's go back to the trophy lodge and go take a look at that huge fallow buck. Well, here we are back at our trophy lodge, and this is our giant 232 scoring fallow buck that we just got. Now, the one that we got the other day is this guy here. He did have a cool rack on him as well, but this one scored 199. So, not even close to the same size as this one. 30 points bigger is this guy right here. 232.2. And I am so sure that this is the same fallow that knocked us off the ATV. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is this finally the same buck that actually knocked us off the ATV? Because before you were telling me that this one definitely was not. So if that's the case, is this the one? Because I'm pretty sure it is. But with that, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you have a good rest of your week. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.